This is the S&P 500 SPDR ETF SPY one-day reading for April 4th, 2025. It's currently March 28th, 2025, 3:36 p.m. Eastern Time. SPY at the time of this reading, $555.33 USD. And the shuffle or the image file for the March 4th reading was created yesterday at 12:17 a.m. That was March 27th at 12:17 a.m. Eastern Time. So what we cover in this video is the timing of the highest high, the lowest low. We give you the best trades that we see throughout the day, as well as the hour-by-hour sequence of chart events. It's important to understand it's a sequence of chart events that we are predicting, and you should pay closest attention to. The timing to the hour is usually on point, but there'll be cases where you need to give it plus or minus an hour or two of wiggle room. But the sequence of chart events will remain accurate. That's why I always tell people sequence of chart events is what you want to pay closest attention to. It's also why I do not recommend trading this information without our Discord trade alerts. I'll show you how to get all those game-changing services at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. So in the overall theme of behavior for the day, we have a nullified Knight of Wands. So a rally along a diagonal trend line, ending with a fast sudden move higher, and then a breakdown through that diagonal trend line with increasing volatility on the way down. Behavior around the highest side, we have sideways rotation near the high. Behavior around the lowest low. There's a breakout out of the lowest low, but it looks like it's a breakout that doesn't hold. And then I'm advised to trade around a notable reversal that'll stand out on a one-day chart minimum. In the pre-market, we have these three pokes through the same trend line, followed by a sharp drop off of that third poke. Interesting. Yeah, so end of day on the 3rd is where I'd want to close out of those shorts, or excuse me, out of those longs. I might, if we're at highs at the end of the day, I would open up a partial short. I would open up a short position at the end of the day if we're at highs, right? Because you've got this card here, which is basically sometimes these cards at the end of the day will blend together, but there's a high there around the cusp of the 3rd, 4th, that's for sure. And he gets three pokes through the same trend line, sharp drop off of that third poke, decline to and through support to meet another support, and we rotate sideways along that second support, which is most likely important on a one-year chart scale. Some sideways rotation there near the open, and then a big move to the upside, followed by more sideways rotation, taking us into a high, at least thus far for the day, somewhere around 10 o'clock, somewhere between 10 and 11, but closer to 10. Between 10 and 11, out of that high, big move to the downside, probably into lows for the day. And that's a full card opportunity. You could likely open up a long position. If we're at lows for the day just after 10 o'clock, I would say open up a long position for a day trade. And you would close that long position when we revisit highs, probably somewhere around 1 o'clock. Well, might even be 12. If it's at 12, then there's going to be a sideways fluctuating decline from 12 into troughs there around 1, and then a huge move to the upside, taking us back to highs between probably closer to 1, but somewhere between 1 and 2, with this sideways fluidity, equal amounts of bulls and bears, inflow and outflow along key support between that 1 to 2 o'clock hour. The unicursal hexagram off of that high there, that second high, unicursal hexagram drop, taking us likely into lows for the day. Again, towards the end of the day, we should see sideways rotation with a move to the upside towards the close that turns over back into like a decline and price swings in the post-market. So if you were ballsy enough to open up a short at a high here at the end of the day, you would close out of it here at the open. Open up a long with this lowest low, at least thus far here. Closed along midday at when we revisit the highs. You could also, when we revisit the highs, open up a short for a day trade, close a short in the last hour. When you see us at lows, significant lows again, we should see sideways rotation in that last hour. And that's SPY for April 4th, 2025, my friends. Again, this video is for entertainment purposes to prove to you that extrasensory perception exists and can be used practically in the real world. But I do not recommend trading this information alone. You must have access, if you're serious about trading this information and profiting consistently, you must have access to our early access subscription. You would have been able to see this video as early as March 28th if you had early access, which is we're usually way earlier, but we got a little bit held up. So the way that you get that early access, guys, which gives you access to the earliest access to any of our public posts that come out on YouTube, come out on this Discord channel first. Live stream questions you can ask throughout the week, and they're answered on the next available live stream. The SPY day trade alerts and swing trade alerts were usually pretty darn accurate. Mercury retrograde, it's kind of, we're good, and then there's something crappy, and then we're good. It's Mercury retrograde. Can't be perfect all the time, but for the most part, this is what our TradingView chart links drawings look like. Entry and exit green ellipses are where we expect peaks. Red ellipses are where we expect troughs. If it's gray, it means it was a failed ellipse. If it stays in color in the past, it means it was on point. Look at all of these, guys. All of that is part of the early access subscription, which you get on our website, Tarot for Traders. You go to order now, click on subscriptions. Early access currently $100 a month. Click here to subscribe, $1,000 for the year. Guys, this is probably after the 7th of somewhere near the after the 7th of April. We're likely doubling these prices. So if you want it at this low level and you've been thinking about pulling the trigger, I highly recommend doing that ASAP before you miss out on the opportunity to have it at this price for the lifetime of the subscription. It's most likely going to be $200 when we change it. And then don't forget about angel investors, resources to have on our website. Much love and appreciation. Blessings to all my angel investors. I'll see you guys on the next one.